Hello everyone, I'm Jovi. Did you know that what you eat can significantly impact your risk of developing breast cancer? It's a question many of us have, and the science is increasingly pointing towards a strong connection between our dietary choices and our long-term health, particularly when it comes to complex diseases like cancer. While genetics and other factors certainly play a role, the power of prevention through lifestyle, especially nutrition, is something we can actively engage with every single day, making choices that nurture our bodies and support our well-being. Today, we're going to delve into this critical topic. We'll be focusing on specific foods that research suggests might be best to limit or avoid to help support your body's defenses against breast cancer. This isn't about creating fear or overly restrictive diets, but about empowering you with knowledge based on current scientific understanding. Understanding these connections can help you make more informed choices for your well-being. Choices that can accumulate over time to make a real difference in your overall health profile and potentially reduce your risk of this far too common disease. We'll be exploring 7 particular food categories that have come under scrutiny in scientific studies regarding breast cancer. My goal here is to break down the information in a clear, understandable way, much like you'd expect from trusted health journalism, so you can feel confident about the dietary adjustments you might consider making. It's about providing clarity and actionable insights. So, let's get started on this important journey towards better health and arm ourselves with the information we need to protect ourselves. When we talk about modifiable risk factors for breast cancer, alcohol consumption is consistently on that list, and the evidence here is quite compelling. What the science tells us is that alcohol can increase levels of estrogen and other hormones associated with hormone receptor-positive breast cancer, which is a common type. Furthermore, alcohol metabolism in our bodies produces acetaldehyde, a toxic chemical and a known carcinogen, which has been shown to damage DNA within our cells. This DNA damage can potentially lead to the mutations that initiate the complex process of cancer development. Several large-scale epidemiological studies have confirmed this association, showing a clear dose-response relationship. Essentially, the more alcohol consumed on a regular basis, the higher the risk. Even light to moderate drinking has been linked to a noticeable increase in breast cancer incidence, underscoring the sensitivity of breast tissue to alcohol's pervasive effects. It's important to understand that all types of alcoholic beverages, whether it's wine, beer, or spirits, contribute to this risk equally because it's the ethanol itself that's the primary concern, not the specific type of drink. The American Cancer Society and other leading health organizations worldwide recommend that women who choose to drink alcohol should limit their intake to no more than 1 standard drink per day. For some individuals, particularly those with a strong family history of breast cancer or other significant risk factors, abstaining from alcohol altogether might be the most prudent and protective approach. This information isn't about judgment, but about providing the scientific facts so you can make the best, most informed decision for your personal health circumstances after careful consideration and perhaps a detailed discussion with your healthcare provider. Fried foods, while often a source of comfort, quick satisfaction, or convenience in our busy lives, present several significant concerns when we consider long-term health and specifically cancer risk. The primary issue lies in the high content of unhealthy fats, particularly trans fats and oxidized fats, which are often formed during the high heat frying process, especially when cooking oils are reused multiple times, a common practice in some food establishments. These types of fats can promote chronic inflammation throughout the body, and as medical science increasingly understands, chronic inflammation creates an environment where cancer cells can more easily develop, survive, and thrive. Additionally, when starchy foods like potatoes or battered items are fried at high temperatures, a compound called acrylamide can form. Acrylamide is classified by health authorities as a probable human carcinogen, and while research into its exact impact is ongoing, minimizing exposure is certainly a sensible precaution for anyone health conscious. Beyond these direct chemical concerns, the frequent consumption of fried foods often contributes significantly to weight gain and ultimately obesity. Obesity itself is a major and well-established risk factor for postmenopausal breast cancer, as adipose tissue or body fat can produce estrogen, leading to higher circulating levels of this hormone, which can fuel certain types of breast tumors. These foods are also typically calorie-dense but nutrient-poor, meaning they take up space in your diet that could be filled with healthier, cancer-protective foods rich in vitamins, minerals, and fiber. Opting for alternative cooking methods like baking, grilling, steaming, or even air frying instead of deep frying can significantly reduce these associated risks, while still allowing you to enjoy flavorful and satisfying meals, making a positive shift for your overall metabolic health and reducing inflammatory load. Processed meats, which encompass a wide range of popular items like bacon, sausages, hot dogs, deli meats such as ham and salami and jerky, have been a subject of considerable research regarding cancer risk, and the findings from numerous studies are quite consistent and concerning. The International Agency for Research on Cancer, which is part of the World Health Organization, has classified processed meats as a Group 1 carcinogen. This means there's sufficient evidence that these products cause cancer in humans, placing them in the same category as tobacco smoking and asbestos, though the individual risk level is different. This classification is largely due to the substances used in their curing and preservation processes, such as nitrates and nitrites. When ingested, these compounds can form N-nitroso compounds in the body, which are potent carcinogens known to damage DNA and initiate the cascade of events leading to cancer development. Beyond the chemical preservatives, the typically high salt content and often high saturated fat content can also contribute to an unhealthy dietary pattern, increasing risks for other chronic diseases as well. Studies have linked regular consumption of processed meats not only to colorectal cancer, for which the evidence is strongest, but also to an increased risk of stomach cancer, and with accumulating evidence to breast cancer as well. While an occasional indulgence, perhaps a hot dog at a ball game, might not be hugely detrimental in an otherwise healthy diet, making processed meats a regular part of your diet significantly elevates your exposure to these harmful compounds over time. Prioritizing fresh, unprocessed sources of protein like poultry, fish, beans, and lentils is a much healthier and safer strategy for long-term well-being and active cancer prevention. The impact of added sugars on our health is a major topic of discussion in nutrition science, and for very good reason, especially when we are considering cancer risk. While sugar itself doesn't directly feed cancer cells, a high intake of added sugars, those found in sugary drinks like sodas and sweetened juices, candies, desserts, and processed foods, can contribute to conditions that increase cancer risk. The most direct link is through weight gain and obesity. Excess sugar consumption drives the global obesity epidemic, and obesity is a significant risk factor for breast cancer, largely due to increased estrogen production from fat tissue and chronic inflammation. Furthermore, high sugar diets can lead to insulin resistance and elevated levels of insulin and IGF-1. Both are potent hormones that promote cell proliferation and inhibit the body's natural cell death process for damaged cells. This creates an environment more conducive to cancer growth. It's important to be mindful of hidden sugars in packaged foods, making it essential to read nutrition labels carefully. Opt for whole, unprocessed foods and satisfy sweet cravings with naturally sweet fruits to reduce your sugar load and support better health. Refined carbohydrates, such as those predominantly found in white bread, white rice breakfast cereals, pastries and cookies, and processed snack foods, represent another area of dietary concern for breast cancer prevention. These foods have been heavily processed, stripping them of fiber, bran, and essential nutrients. They are rapidly digested and absorbed, leading to sharp spikes in blood glucose levels and a surge in insulin production. Chronic exposure to these glycemic roller coasters can contribute to insulin resistance, a condition linked with increased breast cancer risk by fostering cellular growth signals and inflammation. The concern extends beyond immediate blood sugar spikes. It's about sustained hormonal imbalances. Persistently elevated insulin levels can increase estrogen bioavailability by reducing sex hormone-binding globulin, further fueling hormone-sensitive breast cancers. Diets high in refined carbohydrates are lower in protective compounds found in whole grains such as fiber, antioxidants, and phytochemicals that defend against cancer. Choosing whole, unrefined grains like brown rice, quinoa oats, and barley and whole wheat bread provides sustained energy and essential nutrients, stabilizing blood sugar levels and reducing overall risk. The relationship between dairy consumption, particularly high-fat dairy products, and the risk of developing breast cancer is an area of ongoing scientific research and considerable debate, so it's important to approach this topic with nuance. Some studies have suggested a potential link between high-fat dairy products, such as whole milk, heavy cream, full-fat cheeses, and butter, and increased breast cancer risk. One hypothesis is that these products may contain naturally occurring estrogen and hormones from lactating cows, which could theoretically influence hormone-sensitive cancers. Additionally, the saturated fat content has been implicated as potentially promoting cancer development through inflammatory pathways. However, it's crucial to note that the scientific picture is not clear-cut, and other studies have found no significant association or even a potential protective effect, particularly with fermented dairy like yogurt or kefir, or with lower-fat dairy options. Dairy products are valuable sources of calcium, vitamin D, and protein. Given the mixed evidence, if you have concerns about breast cancer risk, you might consider moderating high-fat dairy intake or opting for low-fat versions. Focus on an overall balanced dietary pattern rather than singling out one food group, and discuss your situation with a healthcare professional. When we discuss the consumption of red meat, which generally includes beef, pork, lamb, and veal, in the context of breast cancer risk, the conversation often centers on frequency and quantity, as well as cooking methods. Several large observational studies have suggested a potential association between high red meat intake and increased cancer risk, including breast cancer. One proposed mechanism involves heme iron, the type of iron found in red meat. While heme iron is essential for preventing anemia and oxygen transport, excess amounts can promote oxidative stress and form carcinogenic compounds in the gut. Another significant concern relates to high-temperature cooking such as grilling or frying, which creates heterocyclic amines, or HCAs, and polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, or PAHs. These compounds are mutagenic, meaning they can damage our DNA and increase cancer risk. It's important to differentiate fresh red meat from processed meat, as processed meat carries stronger risk due to added preservatives. For fresh red meat, health organizations recommend moderation, limiting to a few servings per week, choosing leaner cuts, and using gentler cooking methods like baking, stewing, or poaching. Prioritizing poultry, fish, and plant-based proteins like beans, lentils, and tofu can benefit overall health and potentially reduce breast cancer risk. So, we've covered 7 food categories that current research suggests may be wise to limit or avoid when thinking proactively about reducing breast cancer risk. It's a substantial amount of information, I know, and it might seem a bit daunting, but the ultimate goal here isn't to make you feel restricted, fearful, or overwhelmed by dietary rules. Instead, I sincerely hope this discussion empowers you to make more conscious, informed choices about what you put on your plate each day. Remember, it's the overall pattern of your diet that truly matters most in the long run, not an occasional indulgence or a single meal. Small, consistent changes towards a healthier eating style can accumulate over weeks, months, and years to make a significant positive impact on your long-term well-being and vitality. I encourage you to view this knowledge as a valuable tool in your personal health toolkit, one that you can use to build a stronger foundation for your future. Focus on actively incorporating more whole, unprocessed foods into your daily routine. An abundance of colorful fruits and vegetables, fiber-rich whole grains, and lean sources of protein as the cornerstone of your meals. These foods are packed with essential nutrients, antioxidants, and fiber that support your body's natural defense mechanisms and promote a healthy internal environment. Think of it as strategically crowding out the less healthy options by filling your plate and your stomach with the good stuff first. Every healthy choice is a step in the right direction, a positive investment in your future self, and a proactive measure in your lifelong health journey. Finally, and this is incredibly important, please always remember that this video provides general information based on current research and is not by any means a substitute for personalized medical advice or a consultation with a healthcare expert. If you have specific concerns about your breast cancer risk, your current diet, or any existing health condition, it is absolutely crucial to consult with your doctor, a registered dietitian, or another qualified healthcare professional. They are equipped to help you navigate your individual circumstances, consider your family history, and create a comprehensive plan that is tailored specifically to your unique needs and health goals. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm Jovi, and I wish you the very best on your path to optimal health and well-being.